Essentially, even the most critical analysis of gender I have will still be white, and white gender rejection can and does uphold whiteness and white supremacy.
Say it with me. Genital preferences are always transphobic.
Say it with me. You're homophobic, babe. All right, guys, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the Damage Control podcast, where I react to some unhinged woke LGBT TikToks and try not to lose too many brain cells for your enjoyment. Now, buckle up and bear with me as we try to decipher through whatever the heck this TikTok is supposed to mean.
Yes, genital preferences are always transphobic. You're welcome. No, but seriously, deciding that you don't want to be intimate with someone because of the genitals they have is transphobic, particularly like if you think about in this case, this means that this person is not open to dating trans women, which invalidates their womanhood. Not only that, it makes assumptions about the way that trans people are going to want to use those genitals. The idea that trans people use the body parts that they have in the same way that cis people with those same body parts do is transphobic. Say it with me. Genital preferences are always transphobic.
Say it with me. You're homophobic, babe. Y'all remember the whole "it's okay to be gay" thing? Yeah, apparently it's not okay to be gay anymore. Apparently now being gay makes you transphobic. This is crazy and it makes no sense, but it's like the horseshoe theory, right? When you go so far to one extreme, you end up back at the other. What they're saying is not materially different from the people that are suggesting that gay people should just choose to be straight. Newsflash. Cupcake. Biological sex is what determines sexual attraction, not gender identity, not your inner sense of self, not pronouns, but your physical, biological sex and the many manifestations of it, including your genitals. It's not okay for you to tell somebody that they're bigoted or hateful because of the way they are, who they're attracted to. It's not a choice and it's not up to you. It's insane that I even have to tell an LGBT activist that it's not okay to call gay people bigots for not being attracted to female genitalia. Am I being punked? Like, is Ashton Kutcher gonna come? The Gen Z won't even get this reference. Is Ashton Kutcher about to come out with the cameras and say, "I'm being punked"? Because I don't know what the heck is going on in the alphabet community these days, but they have lost their minds. There's something predatory, too, about the way these people are basically trying to say you have to be attracted to them or you're a bigot and you should be canceled. Like, it's okay for people to not be attracted to you. I don't know why you feel entitled to other people's sexuality, but that's something you need to resolve within yourself because it's not going to change on our end. I can guarantee you that. When the Christian conservatives used to say, "Pray the gay away" or "choose God instead of your sins" or whatever, that didn't work. And it won't work now when you're doing it just dressed up in woke claptrap and TikTok nonsense. Hey guys, what if I told you you could immunize yourself to media bias and support my content all at the same time? I want to introduce you to Ground News. Ground News is a news platform designed to empower readers to compare multiple perspectives to see what details are emphasized, exaggerated, or left out entirely. For any story that's making headlines, you can see how the left, center, and right are all framing it. It also has this really cool feature where it highlights blind spot stories that are only being covered by one side of the media spectrum. Just go to the comments section or description of this video to go sign up for Ground News and give yourself the tools to see through media bias while supporting my content at the same time, which would be hugely appreciated because YouTube and Facebook are constantly demonetizing my videos. Now, let's get back to the video. Up next, try to keep up with this TikTok. It might be a bit of a challenge.
Everything I say about gender is influenced by my whiteness, which is obvious, but there's an interesting second part to this. The rejections of gender and gender roles that I create and embody will still come from my whiteness, those acceptable to my constructions of self as a white person. I will likely uphold and encourage white beauty standards and see and more immediately accept other white rejections of gender. Essentially, even the most critical analysis of gender I have will still be white, and white gender rejection can and does uphold whiteness and white supremacy. Queer appropriation of African American vernacular English is one example of this, as is mainstream exclusion of fashion excellence in Black representations of masculinity, while celebrating white men for having basic hygiene as if they're revolutionaries. Of course, that's not to say we can't attempt to take in other viewpoints, but it's still going to be a fundamentally white perspective. Even this is a white perspective. It's literally the only one I can give you. So if you want to learn how other people construct and deconstruct gender, you need to learn it from someone who doesn't look like me. Because
the fuck did he just say? I've listened to that several times now, and I still can't decipher what at least 50% of that is supposed to mean. It's like, oh, what are those called? The things where you plug in the random words, the games we used to play as kids, like insert an adjective, insert a noun, whatever, and you don't know what the prompt is, so you insert your adjectives and your nouns, and then it doesn't make any sense, and that's the fun of the game. It's like that's what these people do when they make their TikTok videos. The long and the short of it, though, is this guy's basically saying that even within the trans activist community, he can only give you a white perspective on gender because he's a white person, and that infects his entire worldview and opinions. And this is a good example, I think, of how intersectionality and the extreme woke worldview actually becomes really reductive and tokenistic and toxic in its own right. I don't know about y'all, but for me at least, I don't actually believe that the pigment of your skin taints your perspective and determines your worldview, and that you are incapable of having a worldview independent of your race. That's what these people are saying, and they are acting like that's progressive. This whole genre of commentary on TikTok, talking about how I'm super woke and intersectional, but I acknowledge how I'm bigoted and I'm inherently flawed in my own ways, and it reminds me of, during the Black Death in Europe, the Great Plague, they had these people that would go around and whip themselves in public, hoping to please the gods so that they would be spared. They were called the flagellants. They would go around and they would whip themselves and blood would splatter, and they would publicly whip themselves to basically beg God, we're suffering, we're acknowledging our pain, please don't strike us down. And I think that's what these people are doing. I think they've seen how insane the cancel culture and the mobbing and the calling everything bigoted and tarring people for one wrong opinion or word has gotten on their own side, and they're so afraid that it's going to come for them next that they're just preemptively confessing to all this racism and problematic stuff that probably doesn't actually exist. But here's the thing for folks like this. You think it's going to save you if you are one of the good ones and you acknowledge how inherently flawed you are as a white person. It's not going to save you, babe. It's not. They'll turn on you eventually because that's what they do. And no amount of insane woke word salad TikToks is going to save you from that fate. So you might as well not embrace these radical and reductive and extreme views on race. Up next, even this woke TikToker is getting sick of their own community.
I'm debating whether or not I hate fake advocates or bigots more. And they're both equally annoying on TikTok. I lost all patience today. It's crazy because on one hand I have people that are like, being gay is wrong, you're a horrible person, stay away from children. And those people are so annoying. And then on the other hand, I have people that are like, I identify as a cauliflower and you can't say Gypsy Rose's real name. And I'm like, oh, there is an in-between. We could be respectful of pronouns and not be homophobic and also not use that word as a slur, but then understand it's actually somebody's name that dates back 4,000 years. People just follow trends. Trends to either hate gays or love gays. Hate a country, love a country. Hate a group of people, love a group of people. And now it's politically correct is just random. And then, since being politically correct is so random now, we have other groups of people that just say the most absurd, toxic things. They're like, oh my god, well, black people are not smart and gay is wrong. And then you're like, oh my god, you can't say that. But then they come back and they're like, well, everything politically correct doesn't make sense. They're not wrong, but they're also wrong. Everyone is wrong. I'm losing it tonight, guys. I hope this helps though.
So I follow this person on TikTok, Desmond, and they're actually pretty darn liberal, but even they can't keep up with the political correct stuff. And I found it hilarious when they're like, political correctness is just random now. And it's really true. I mean, nobody can keep up, and they're constantly inventing new fake outrages and new oppressions to be upset about. And it really is exhausting. And I actually agree with Desmond that we are seeing, at least online, I don't know about so much in person or in real life, but online, we are seeing some extreme far-right pockets of actual homophobia, actual transphobia, actual racism really start to bubble up and rear their ugly head. I mean, you can go to my X account and look at some of the replies that I get, but it's all over the place. And it is not most people. I still don't believe it's most people. It's not even most people on these platforms, but it's a specific toxic online segment. And they really are coming back in force. And that's terrible. actual racism and actual bigotry is a horrible thing. And I do fault those people for going down that path, but I also think what Desmond is saying here is actually an important piece of the puzzle, that for so long, progressives and people on the left called everything they didn't like racist, called everything they didn't like sexist, homophobic, transphobic, blah, 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 blah. They threw these terms around like candy on Halloween. And then what do you know? The boy who cried wolf so many times that people stopped coming. And now we have some actual bigotry resurfacing in places. And we've lost the vocabulary and the willpower to call it out and to be immune from it and to recognize it for what it is. Because for so many years, these people called every little thing under the sun some form of problematic bigotry. Well, now we're reaping the dividends of that. And I don't think it's pretty, and I don't think it's something any of us should want to see continue. Up next, this TikToker thinks you should make being gay your whole personality.
I hate when people say, I don't care if you're gay as long as you don't make it your whole personality. I cannot relate. If you're gay and you're not making it your whole personality, get with the program. Like, join us. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. My least favorite part of being gay is being attracted to men. And I don't even mean that in like a catchy, like Fox News headline type of way. I mean it, like, it's bad out here. And like, if being gay was only when I had sex with men, I'd be gay like twice a year. You know, like, I'm not really committed to that whole bit. I was born to tip a drag queen $1. Like, when I tip a drag queen $1, transcendental meditation. Like, when I hear a woman like belt a high note, that is what I was made for. That's what we're here for.
So this guy, he made me laugh a couple times because some of the stuff he said was funny. Like, I only do that twice a year. I'm only gay twice a year. But no, I do take issue with this. Like, babe, being gay is not a personality. So you really have to have something more than that to offer, or you will be lacking in the personality department. And I do find it really unfortunate when these woke types, they often end up accidentally trafficking in stereotypes. Like, it's not, in fact, true that gay people are all sassy and effeminate and feminine and love musical theater or whatever. And, you know, for the gay people that are like that, that's totally fine. I don't judge that or look down at that at all. There's also a lot of gay people who are just same-sex attracted, but like sports or are masculine in a traditional sense or in whatever. It's like, it doesn't actually have anything to do with those things. Now, are those things sometimes more common in gay people? I think yes. And I think it's kind of complicated why that might be, but it's not always the case. There's nothing inherently about those things that makes a person have to be gay. There are even some heterosexual people who are stereotypically gay, but aren't actually gay. And I just don't know why these people have gone so far down the woke mind virus that they've started trafficking and perpetuating stereotypes. It's like, how do you go so far that you end up in this reductive and old-fashioned view of what it means to be gay or straight or a man or a woman? Like, no, liking makeup doesn't make you really a woman. Being sassy doesn't mean that you're gay. None of these things are actually true or just positive in any way. And I don't know why people who call themselves progressives continue to traffic in them. And again, if being gay is all you've got to offer in your personality, you might want to work on that. All right, guys, that's all the alphabet TikTok I can handle in one sitting without bringing back up my lunch. I don't think any of you want to see that, let's be honest. So that'll be it for now, but if you enjoyed this, do drop a like, comment, and do consider subscribing on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching this right now, and I'll see you all later.